Hey everybody, it's Redfirefly. This is another one of my lovely 3v3 randoms that I did in Season 6. I'm going to speed this up a little bit, because in this game I want to point out is teamwork. So they said 4 gates all around, 6-minute push, and I was just like, okay, I guess I'm going to do a normal build. A normal build is a build that Redfirefly typically does not do, because I do very strange builds. I do whatever the hell I want to, and I don't really consider my allies' opinions or whatsoever. So my allies include DreamMachine, who is Protoss, and XDHanjee, who is also Protoss, and that's why we decided to do 6-minute push altogether, and it ends up being pretty successful. Our opponents include Wolf, who's Terran, and then we have 2 Zerg opponents, Radiate and SvenVvath. And the thing is all 3 of them were random, so we didn't even know what they were. We were just like, whatever, we're going to just build together. So I decided to wall off and do something similar to what Angry Agent does, where I actually build units to cover the middle here for the wall off instead of walling the entire wall off. Main reason I decided that is because I didn't want my allies to be like, what the fuck are you doing? And then the other is because I decided that I was going to do the 4 gateway that they were talking about, and I'm getting the cybernetic core because if I do zealots, I want to have the charge. Funny thing is that I wasn't thinking when I was doing this, and instead of getting the charge, I ended up learning blink, which ends up still being in my favor. So we're going to speed up this game a little bit. You can see here that my ally is doing very similar. They are learning how to do the warp gate, which is very important for any kind of Protoss, is to do warp gate. And they have 3 gateways, 2 already done, 1 on the way, and they're pumping out zealots. Over here, very similar build. You have the learning the gateway, the warp gate right there, and then you have the warp gates already out. It's 4 gate. At this point, I am 3 gates, and I'm learning the Twilight Council, and I have my 4th gate. So I don't pump out as fast as they do as far as zealots go, but that's fine. I mean, it's not my strong point. I have control shared with my allies, and they eventually realize it. Because I'm like, take my zealots with you guys so that I can concentrate on this, because I like to macro a lot more than I like to micro, which is fine. And props to DreamMachine, he builds his proxy pylon here. Actually, a lot of us ends up building our proxy pylons around this area here, halfway through the map, over halfway through the map, so that we can easily attack our opponents much quicker. And they're building up a defense. They're like crap. A bunch of stalkers and zealots coming our way. And I do send some of my units their way. Right here. And I do send out my probe out here to build another cannon or another pylon. So they're attacking, they're harassing, they're making our opponent nervous. And sentries are awesome because of their shields right there, which I should probably start learning how to utilize. I'll probably do a video of my trials and errors of learning how to use the sentries properly. So we are causing a decent amount of damage, or at least we are making our opponent nervous, which is still pretty successful. So I build my proxy pylon here, and I build another proxy pylon up here to be safe. So we're going to speed up the game just a little bit more, because we don't successfully take this out, but we do a successful job of just irritating our opponent, which is fine. Irritating opponents are still appreciated, and I go for a second base. Reason I go for a second base, because I want a strong economy. My ally here, XDHanjee, also has his second base going, which is awesome. Back. And they go and they try to take out the pylon, which they do. Which is fun. They take out a pylon, and they send a changeling to our base. And we do suspect it's not a real zealot that belongs to us. You know how I know that the zealots don't belong to us? Because I usually don't build zealots. So if I see a zealot on my base, I'm like, hey, that's not really mine. So here I send one, I should tell Ross that I'm recording this. Oh well. So I send 1 DT, take out the queen. The queen is really, really a good thing to take out. And then I'm building a forge here. 1, to upgrade everything, and 2, so I can build some cannons for some protection. And then I built in some stalkers. Stalkers are really, really cool. I need practice on how to micromanage them, but that is something for another time. It'll be fun learning as I learn how to micromanage. If you can micromanage and macromanage your bases and everything, you can be quite successful at this game. And that is my goal, to be successful at this game, because if you listen to the podcast, you know this is one of my favorite games to play. So, question, Ultralists. Let's just take a look at what they're doing. They have an evolution chamber, which means that they are building spine crawlers, well, spore crawlers is most likely what they're going to build. They have anti-air right here. It's also for the purpose of avoiding the DTs. So you can see here that we are attacking. Then my opponent, my ally, gets a really good idea, and he says, go Archons. I was like, okay. Honestly, I have not gone Archons since... I haven't gone Archons since Starcraft 1. I originally did go mass Archons, and that was back in the day. So right here, smart move on Red's point to go air, mute us from the backside, because we don't have much protection for that, minus our stalkers right there. So I'm building a little bit here, and when they come for me, I just move all of them. I already have another base. I'm not too worried about it. So they come, they attack, and what do? We send in some stalkers, because stalkers actually are really good anti-air. And then I have DTs going on here. So, right over here, we haven't quite started going Archons yet, but we're doing our fair share of damage to everything going on here. We still are planted in the middle of the board, so that plays in our favor because we can see a lot more, but we don't see what's going down in this corner here or this up here. So they could be building up here and we just don't know it. We didn't know that they expanded here or here until much later. We later work on that. Yellow takes good control of my units. Props for that. So we mass stalkers and we're just like, what are we going to do now? What to build? So, getting anti-air? Nope. Get Archons. They're going anti-air. Key thing in a good team is communication. Always keep that in mind. So, you see XDHanjee going Archons here. He has it slightly upgraded. And I decide that I'm going to upgrade everything. So I'm getting Archons right here. And we end up massing Archons like crazy in this game. So we have some Archons here. We have some things going on right here. Slow this down a little bit so that we can play some more. So, letting Yellow DreamMachine control all of the stalkers here. We're doing an awesome job. I'm surprised he doesn't blink some more around here, but that's fine. And then we have Archons, which are pretty dang powerful. I just totally forgot how powerful they can be. So we have our mass army in the middle here. We own over half the board, which is great. Okay, and then we have a changeling right here, which belongs to one of them. So, ready? We're going to attack again and get ready to take them out. We have Wolf here who has made his expansion, but we still own majority of the board. Let's just take a look at their resources just to see what's going on here. We see that Red has a very strong economy, and the same thing with Teal. That makes me a bit nervous because one of the key things, again, about these games, is that you don't want to have that many minerals, if at all. Unless it's really late in the game, which at this point it is late in the game, but for right here, Teal has himself capped at 94. You know that unit cap is 200. Why would you let yourself be capped at that? I'm at 126. Red is doing an awesome job of keeping himself almost near where he could be for unit cap. So Red's probably the MVP of this game. And archon damage with a touch of stalkers. I'm going to be starting to use archons a bit more frequently. So I am upgrading my archons as much as I possibly can, just because I want them to create a decent amount of damage. We eventually notice these extra bases here and here, and end up sending some units over just to take them out, just because that's what we need to do. I have 3 bases going on. My allies all at least have 2. Orange here is working on his 3rd right over here. So we're causing a decent amount of damage, making them quite a bit nervous. And you can see here is that among me and my allies, we are getting to the point where we have no concern for minerals. We have a lot of it. We might need some more gas. And gas has always been one thing that you wanted to get more of. Going to check out the production here. Let's slow this down. You can see here I'm building more archons. And then Wolf is getting some air banshees to hit us with. Zerg is getting pretty powerful. They are upgrading to the fullest extent of upgrade that they can. But right here, very nerve-wracking because they have not utilized their remaining drones. Most likely because they don't want to send it through us, our big army here. And that's basically suicide. Just move them through our army and just kill off all your drones. No, because that's a waste of minerals. Smart move on their side, building broodlords. Broodlords, very powerful against anything that is ground, because they can attack from a far, far distance and make us all annoyed. So Wolf sees here that there's nothing here, so they plan on building here, I'm pretty sure. And I eventually see them here, and they eventually attack me over here. So, speeding up the game a little bit more, if you're curious how this game ends, we do win. Oh, they see me! And they go for me, focus on the broods, fine. So, we notice they have the base over here. We're going to send some things over that way, just take out their expansions. But not until after we try to kill some of these broods and corruptors. I don't see why they built corruptors when we don't have any air units yet. Preparation for the future, I presume. So I sent some zealots here. Zealots are not going to do much for me, but they're there, just in case. Still upgrading my units. Alright. So Hanjee says he's going to get the anti-air, and I'm like, okay, that is great. So, building on, letting again my ally control all of my units so I can concentrate on macroing. This is a sign of really good teamwork. I'm actually very glad that Blizzard added that ability to control your allies' units. You can't use up their resources, but you can control their units, which is awesome because that creates more multitasking ability, so you and your team can be extra special. I mean that with all the sarcasm that I have possible, but it's still very, very successful. So I build another base there, send a bunch of these guys over here. They have pretty high life expectancy. I just send them here. I send them here to just attack. I just leave them be like, go over there, just take out that base. Slow them down a little bit. And the cool thing is that they actually take out the overlords and the overseers, which slows down our opponent because it creates it so that they get unit capped very quickly. And so if they did want to expand or build more units, they have to pull out more overseers, more overlords in order to get that. So we successfully took out this expansion. We're going to go for this expansion soon. And we're just riding out the game until the end. At this point, we do own majority of the board. They don't have much left. And that doesn't play in their favor at all. So Hanjee gets the Void Rays right here. So he did his job and he went air. This is one of those games where I went completely ground, which is very rare. Very, very rare. So we go, use the stalkers. DreamMachine has control of all the stalkers. Take that out, and I decide, whatever, I'm bored. I am just going to send all of these guys here over to the main base. And Wolf creates himself this Thor. Singular Thor is going to try to take out a bunch of archons. That is an awesome idea. Yeah. You know, there's smart attacks and there's not so smart attacks. Wolf's attack right here is a smart attack. An attack with a Banshee that is invisible. Very smart attack. The attack with the Thor, not such a smart attack. Then, right here, let's take out this expansion again. I don't even see why you even bothered building this, because of the fact that you only had a couple minerals right here. The amount that you would have gotten from mining these minerals right here, just these 3 ones right here, wouldn't have been enough to even cover the price that you paid to make this hive in the first place. A hive costs 400 minerals, and this right here, this is like what? 25, 85, and 20. So you're looking at over maybe 120 or so. Yeah, I suck at math today. So what? But you still get the point that I'm saying. It does not equal 400. The only time it's conventional to make a hive in a new area is when you are able to mine more than 400 by at least another 400. Or at least 1,000, because you got to make your economy strong. That's just a waste of economy space right there, unless you're just building it to try to survive, which you shouldn't have built it in the line of fire. So we're finishing everything off here. It was an awesome game. I love the teamwork, especially when you are able to team up with the person you don't know. So awesome job. Until next time, thanks guys. And remember to subscribe and check out our podcast at newbcastgaming.com.